Welcome, beautiful, beloved souls. My name is Gem Stone. I'm a psychic medium and I am an author. On this channel, you'll find I'll do about 90% of the time commentaries. The other times I'll do PowerPoints. Now let me know what you prefer. Would you prefer a PowerPoint with pretty pictures or just me doing commentary? And I don't fit a particular niche. I look at anything and everything through a lens, hence the name of a channel. So I do concentrate a lot on consciousness. And for, like I said, for 1 week only, ending on Sunday, this Sunday, I'm offering these PDFs for free. Normally I would charge. So if you write to my email address, give me 48 hours to get back to you, and I will offer these PDFs. They're quite lengthy, for free. So if you'd like to learn how to channel or how to remote view, I'm offering both for 1 week only for free. Please think about taking it up. It costs you nothing. All it costs is an email. Just again, my email address is gemamberstone@gmail.com. Let's get into the commentary video. Vibrational warfare. Analyzing whether modern music desensitizes our natural intuition and empathy. Introduction. Music is one of the few forces capable of changing human consciousness without asking permission. A song can transport you back 20 years. A melody can trigger tears. A rhythm can alter your breathing. A simple sequence of frequencies can inspire courage, sadness, love, nostalgia, fear, or hope. This extraordinary power has been recognized by every civilization throughout history. Ancient cultures used drums, chants, flutes, bells, and singing bowls during spiritual ceremonies. Religions incorporated hymns, sacred chants, and devotional music. Even modern science acknowledges that sound influences mood, memory, and physiology. Now, before I continue, as an author, I've published 40 books. One of my books, I channeled an ancient race called the Moors, spelt M-A-U-R-S. And the Moors was a civilization that had music, and they learnt that music could make or break creation. I'll leave that in the description. All right. So modern science acknowledges that sound influences mood, memory, and physiology. But this raises a provocative question. If sound has the power to heal, can it also have the power to numb? If frequencies can elevate consciousness, can they also contribute to disconnection? We're going to explore one of the most controversial questions in modern spirituality. Is contemporary music simply evolving with culture, or has something deeper changed with the soundscape itself? Could modern audio environments be affecting intuition, empathy, and emotional awareness in ways we barely understand? Let's investigate. Chapter 1. The Invisible Architecture of sound. Most people think they listen to music. In reality, music is also listening to us. Every sound entering the ear becomes electrical activity inside the brain. Heart rate shifts. Hormones fluctuate. Emotions respond. Memories activate. The body is constantly interacting with vibration. In many ways, we are less like isolated observers and more like tuning forks. When exposed to repeated frequencies, we begin adapting to them. This process is sometimes called entrainment. It occurs through nature. Pendulums synchronize. Fireflies synchronize. Human beings synchronize. The question isn't whether sound affects us. The question is how deeply. Chapter 2. The Great Frequency Debate. One of the most discussed topics in spiritual audio circles involves tuning standards. Specifically, the debate surrounding 432 Hz and 440 Hz. Supporters of 432 Hz often claim it feels warmer, more natural, and more harmonious. Others argue that 440 Hz, the modern standard, sounds brighter and more energetic. Importantly, there is no scientific consensus showing that 440 Hz is harmful or that 432 Hz possesses mystical properties. Yet, the popularity of this debate reveals something interesting. People instinctively sense that sound matters, not just lyrics, not just rhythm, the frequencies themselves. Whether or not the claims are accurate, the intuition behind the discussion remains fascinating. Human beings appear deeply sensitive to vibration. Chapter 3. When the music changed. Many listeners describe a feeling that music changed dramatically during the late 20th and early 21st centuries. The change wasn't merely stylistic, it was structural. Production became more compressed, more digitized, more repetitive, more optimized. Technology enabled incredible creativity. Technology enabled incredible creativity, but it also introduced new priorities. Algorithms began influencing visibility. Streaming services rewarded immediate engagement. Songs increasingly competed for attention rather than immersion. The result was a new sonic landscape. Faster, louder, more constant, more relentless, and perhaps less patient. Chapter 4. The Loudness War. Audio engineers often speak about something they called the loudness war. For decades, producers attempted to make songs sound louder than competing tracks, not through actual volume, but through compression. Compression reduces the difference between loud and quiet moments. Everything becomes intense. Everything becomes present. Everything competes for attention simultaneously. This creates a psychological effect. The nervous system receives fewer opportunities to rest. Silence disappears. Contrast diminishes. Breathing room vanishes. The result can feel exciting, but over time it also may become exhausting. Chapter 5. The missing silence. One of the most overlooked elements in music is silence. Silence creates tension, meaning, space, reflection. Without silence, music becomes continuous stimulation. Imagine a conversation where nobody pauses. Words lose impact. Thoughts become blurred. Many spiritual traditions emphasize stillness because silence allows awareness to emerge. It creates room for intuition, room for reflection, room for insight. As modern life becomes increasingly saturated with sound, one must ask, when was the last time we truly listened to silence? Chapter 6. The repetition machine. Human brains love patterns. Patterns create familiarity. Familiarity creates comfort. This is one reason repetitive rhythms become so effective. There is nothing inherently wrong with repetition. Many sacred traditions use repetitive drumming and chanting. However, intention matters. Ancient repetition often aimed towards transcendence. Modern repetition often aims towards retention. The goal is different. One seeks awakening. The other often seeks engagement. The distinction may be subtle, yet it deserves consideration. Chapter 7. Remote viewing the soundscape. Now, let's move into more speculative territory. Some remote viewers describe energetic impressions associated with different environments. Certain locations feel vibrant, others feel stagnant. Some practitioners have applied similar observations to media consumption. Again, these observations are subjective, not scientific measurements, yet they are intriguing. Several viewers describe highly algorithmic media environments as feeling foggy, dense, fragmented. Attention becomes scattered. Inner quiet becomes difficult to access. Whether this represents genuine and energetic effects or simply information overload remains open to interpretation. Either way, the experience is worth examining. Chapter 8. The empathy question. One concern raised by psychologists and educators involves empathy. Modern audiences consume more content than any generation in history. Yet, many report increasing loneliness, increasing isolation, increasing emotional exhaustion. Music alone cannot explain this. Many social factors contribute. However, it is reasonable to ask whether constant stimulation influences emotional processing. Empathy requires attention, presence, listening, reflection. These qualities flourish in spacious environments. What happens when attention becomes fragmented across thousands of inputs every day? Chapter 9. The Attention Economy. Perhaps the most powerful force shaping modern music is not frequency, it is economics. Attention has become a commodity. The longer platforms retain attention, the more valuable that attention becomes. This creates incentives. Hooks arrive faster. Transitions become shorter. Complexity decreases. Immediate impact becomes essential. Again, none of this requires conspiracy. Systems naturally optimize for their goals. The question is whether those goals align with humans flourishing. Chapter 10. The Intuition Disconnect. Many people report difficulty accessing intuition today. Meditation feels harder. Dream recall feels weaker. Concentration feels fragmented. There may be many reasons for this. Technology, stress, sleep disruption, information overload. Yet, all of these factors share one common characteristic. They reduce opportunities for internal listening. Intuition rarely shouts. It whispers. It whispers. And whispers struggle to compete with constant noise. Chapter 11. The lyrics we absorb. Lyrics deserve attention as well. Words shape perception. Narratives influence identity. Repeated messages influence expectation. Again, this is not unique to modern music. Every era contained uplifting songs and destructive songs. The challenge lies in awareness. What themes dominate our listening habits? Hope, connection, meaning, or cynicism, materialism, despair? The content we consume gradually becomes part of our psychological environment. Chapter 12. The Spiritual Filter. One lesson repeated across spiritual traditions is the importance of discernment, and I always talk about discernment. Discernment, not rejection. Discernment. A mature listener doesn't fear music. A mature listener evaluates it. How does it affect me? How do I feel afterward? Am I energized, inspired, grounded, drained, agitated, disconnected? These questions matter far more than genre labels. Chapter 13. Reclaiming conscious listening. Perhaps the solution is not abandoning modern music. Perhaps the solution is listening consciously, choosing rather than drifting, creating moments of intentional silence, balancing stimulation with reflection, exploring music that nourishes rather than merely occupies attention, becoming active participants rather than passive consumers. Chapter 14. The Return of Sacred Sound. Interestingly, many creators are rediscovering intentionality, sound healing, meditative music, ambient compositions, nature recordings, conscious lyricism. Across the world, musicians are experimenting with ways to reconnect art and meaning, not as nostalgia, but as evolution, a recognition that sound influences consciousness and therefore deserves thoughtful creation. Chapter 15. The Real Vibrational Warfare. Perhaps the greatest surprise is this: the real battle may not involve secret frequencies, it may not involve hidden agendas, it may not involve coded manipulation. The real battle may be attention itself. Anything that steals our ability to reflect, feel, emphasize, and listen weakens our connection to ourselves. Anything that strengthens awareness strengthens freedom. The battlefield is not necessarily the playlist. The battlefield is consciousness. Conclusion. Can modern music desensitize intuition and empathy? Possibly. But not because of a single frequency, not because of a single frequency, nor because of a secret tone hidden inside a recording. The answer may be far more complex. Music influences mood. Have you heard how music can heal the soul? Technology influences attention. Culture influences values. Together, they shape the environment in which consciousness develops. The challenge is not to fear sound. The challenge is to become conscious of it. To ask, what are we feeding our minds? What are we feeding our emotions? What are we feeding our souls? Because every song leaves an imprint. Every rhythm shapes experience. Every frequency becomes part of the landscape we inhabit. And perhaps true spiritual sovereignty is not achieved by avoiding modern music. Perhaps it is achieved by becoming so aware that no sound can unconsciously control us. When that happens, music ceases to be a cage. It becomes what it was always meant to be: a bridge, a mirror, and sometimes a doorway into something greater than ourselves. I just want to share, before I end this, something personal. When I was about the age of 10, an orchestra came to our school and it played classical music. The music was so beautiful. It moved me. I was crying, tears. I couldn't stop it. Tears were rolling down my cheeks. Now, modern songs, different songs, rap music, very angry music. And yeah, it was meant to be like that. I grew up when punk first started. I grew up, you could say the 70s and the 80s went through a lot of changes. First, we had soft rock, very gentle, like rock ballads. We had one-hit wonders. We had disco music. Then we had punk music. All right. Let me know how you feel with music. Do you prefer, what type of music do you prefer? I like all genres. It depends on the song. Again, I'm going to show you this as I end. Remember, until Sunday, I'm offering this for free. Look, guys, it costs you nothing to send me an email, and you will gain two free PDFs if that's what you want. You specify which one you want. All right. Thank you for watching. If you're going to drop a comment, please do so with respect. If only the world was more respectful, less judgmental, less biased, less prejudiced, more tolerant. What a better place it would be to live. And please be kind to each other. Smile at a stranger. It costs nothing to be nice, and you might just save someone's life. Please take care of yourselves because you matter. You are precious. You are special, and you matter to me. Thanks again. Love, light, and blessings, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.